The message came in the form of a shimmering pulse, a ripple across deep space channels that Earth's satellites caught on a routine sweep. It wasn't the message itself that chilled global defense councils to the bone. It was the tone. A single, cold declaration, spoken in an alien tongue but translated instantly by AI. Prepare to be annexed. Resistance is irrelevant. For most of humanity, the arrival of aliens should have been a cause for awe and hope. But this was something else entirely. They called themselves the Vorlax Dominion, and within hours of that message their ships slipped into orbit, vast black leviathans blotting out the stars. Millions across Earth watched the live streams in horrified silence. News anchors struggled to maintain composure, repeating over and over, "We are attempting peaceful contact." But the Vorlax didn't wait. Hovering miles above the atmosphere, their flagship opened a channel. Its commander, a towering being of scales and cybernetic implants, peered down as if at insects. "You have been evaluated. Primitive. Fragile. Submission will be swift." World governments scrambled to respond. Diplomats, panicked and desperate, sent messages of peace, offering dialogue. But in secret bunkers, hidden far below Earth's crust, the Sentinel Command activated. They'd known something was coming. For decades, whispers of Preparation Zero had floated in Black Ops circles. Contingencies for extraterrestrial contact, military, cyber, psychological, and now all of it would be tested. Commander Ayla Vance stood in the war room, staring at the massive holographic display of the Vorlax fleet. Her eyes were steel, her voice a razor's edge. "Bring the Titans online." Her second-in-command blinked. "Ma'am, confirmation. Full deployment." Ayla didn't flinch. "Yes, full deployment. I want those bastards welcomed properly." Above Earth, the Vorlax began their descent. Streams of landing craft cut through the atmosphere like spears of fire. Their strategy was textbook. Land hard, crush resistance, set up control nodes, and subjugate local leadership. They expected screams, panic, chaos. What they didn't expect was silence. On the ground, in the city of Avalon, one of their first targets, streets, lay eerily empty. Buildings were dark. A strange, oppressive quiet hung in the air. The Vorlax commander of the landing party barked orders, his voice a guttural snarl. "Sweep for resistance. Secure perimeter. Report anomalies." His troops, hulking brutes clad in exo-armor, spread out, weapons primed. And then it began. A ping on their sensors. Small at first, almost laughable. A drone. They turned. Too slow. Boom! The first blast hit like a thunderclap, vaporizing the lead formation in a flash of searing plasma. Vorlax soldiers roared in confusion, firing wildly, but their targeting systems jammed. Comms crackled, distorted. Another detonation, this time from beneath. Mines? No. Something. Smarter. A chilling voice crackled over their own comms, in flawless Vorlax dialect. "Welcome to Earth." Panic rippled through the alien ranks. This wasn't disorganized rabble. This was a trap. From the shadows, human strike teams emerged, sleek, agile, deadly. Cloaked soldiers wielding pulse. Rifles and grav blades moved like phantoms, picking off Vorlax troops with surgical precision. Drones hummed overhead, dropping micro-explosives that found every weakness in Vorlax armor. On the Vorlax flagship, alarms screamed. The alien commander slammed a fist onto his console. "What is this? They're primitives." His tactical officer, trembling, stared at the holographic carnage below. "Sir, they're weapons. It's as if they knew our tech, our patterns." Another explosion rocked the landing site. Human forces advanced, relentless. And for the first time in the Dominion's long, brutal history, they realized something terrifying. The hunt had become the hunted. As Commander Ayla watched the battle unfold on her screen, she allowed herself a rare smile. "They thought we were lambs," she murmured. "Let's show them the wolves." The Vorlax Dominion had ruled for centuries by one simple doctrine. Superior strength ensures superior survival. But on Earth, that doctrine was shattering, piece by humiliating piece. Commander Velrax slammed his clawed hand onto the war table aboard the Dominion's flagship. His voice, usually calm and venomous, now cracked with frustration. "Status report, now." His lieutenants, shaken, delivered the bitter truth. "Sir, landing zones Alpha through Delta, compromised. Ground forces decimated. Losses exceeding 80%. Velrax's eyes narrowed, burning with disbelief. "Impossible. Their technology shouldn't even breach our shields." But even as he spoke, the viewscreen flickered, showing a dozen Vorlax assault cruisers, majestic and terrifying, descending through the atmosphere, only to be struck mid-air by beam weaponry that erupted from hidden emplacements across Earth's surface. One by one, the cruisers exploded in massive balls of fire. The bridge went silent. Officers exchanged glances. Velrax's talon-tipped finger hovered over the controls before he growled, "Prepare the Nightfang fleet. Full orbital bombardment. We cleanse this planet from orbit. No more playing around. Extermination protocol?" Meanwhile, deep underground, Commander Ayla Vance stood calm, her eyes reflecting the cold glow of data streams. She knew the Vorlax. Response would be brutal. She counted on it. Her ops chief leaned over. "Ma'am, our decoy stations are ready. Orbital defense grid is primed." Ayla's lips curled into a smirk. "Let's spring the trap. In orbit." The Vorlax's Nightfang fleet, sleek black dreadnoughts bristling with railguns and plasma cannons, assembled in attack formation. Their weapon arrays hummed, locked onto Earth's surface. Velrax gave the command, his voice a hiss of finality. Fire! The skies above Earth lit up like a second sun. Blazing plasma bolts streaked down, targeting what they thought were human cities and defense hubs. But instead of obliterated human strongholds, they hit empty fields, empty shells, ghost cities. Moments later, chaos. Alarms shrieked across the Vorlax fleet. Systems crashed, sensors glitched, hacking sequences scrambled their targeting arrays. A chorus of panicked alien voices erupted across the comm channels. "Sir, they've hijacked our weapons systems. Multiple breaches in our firewall. Our own plasma cannons are..." Suddenly, one of the Nightfang dreadnoughts pivoted on its axis, its railguns swiveling, and opened fire on its own fleet. Velrax whipped around in horror. "No! Override! Override!" Too late. Human cyber warriors, ghosts in the digital realm, had already slipped into the Dominion systems, seeding viruses crafted specifically for this moment. From hidden positions on Earth's dark side, human stealth cruisers decloaked, racing into orbit like sharks smelling blood. Sleek, angular, their hulls black as night, silent but deadly. Their payload, EMP torpedoes and precision-cutting lasers. Within minutes, the Vorlax fleet became a slaughterhouse. Dreadnoughts, their shields flickering and useless, were torn apart, piece by piece. Fighters exploded like firecrackers, no match for human strikecraft that darted between them with uncanny precision. Back on the ground. In the ruined streets of Avalon, a Vorlax captain, wounded and disoriented, dragged himself toward a burning skiff, his vision blurred as human boots crunched on debris behind him. A shadow loomed overhead, Captain Reyes of the Phantom Division, rifle slung across her back, eyes cold as ice. The alien hissed, defiant even in defeat. You were prey." Reyes knelt beside him, voice soft but laced with steel. That's what you thought. She raised a small device, an encrypted transmitter, and spoke 3 chilling words. Phase 2. Begin. In orbit, Vel Rax, watching his empire crumble in, real time screamed into his comms, "Fall back! Fall back!" But the retreat was chaos. Vorlak's ships collided in panic, some exploding as human fighters harried their flanks. And then it happened. The Titans, massive human warships that had stayed hidden until now, burst from hyperspace, dwarfing everything in their path. Bristling with weaponry, their armor gleamed with human engineering genius. The massacre was now in full swing. Commander Ayla watched from her command center, eyes like daggers. "This is what happens," she whispered, "when you underestimate humanity." The once proud Vorlak's dominion was unraveling, and fast. In the vastness of orbit, debris from shattered dreadnoughts drifted silently, glowing embers of the fleet that had once cast a shadow over entire civilizations. For the Vorlaks, humiliation wasn't just a wound. It was a deep scar on their pride. Commander Vel Rax paced the shattered bridge of his flagship, clutching the railing so hard his claws left deep gouges in the metal. "Status of ground operations," he snarled. His comms officer, visibly shaken, hesitated. "Sir." "Sporadic contact. Most landing parties have gone dark." Velrax's eyes blazed. "Gone dark? Explain." The officer's hands trembled. "Sir, it's as if they've been erased on the ground." Deep in the heart of Avalon's industrial zone, the last remnants of a Vorlak's platoon scrambled through smoke-filled alleyways. Their advanced armor, once pristine, was scorched and battered. The leader, Sub-Commander Krell, barked, orders in desperation, waving his troops into formation. "Scanners, get me visuals. We can't be alone out here." But the scanners returned nothing but static. And then the whispers began. It started faint, a crackle over the comms. Alien voices, twisted versions of their own language, whispering darkly. "We see you. We know you. Run, little hunters." Krell's eyes widened. "Shut down that frequency now!" Too late. The darkness around them shifted, and from the shadows, human operatives emerged. Fast, precise, almost inhuman in their efficiency. One by one, Vorlak soldiers dropped. Silent shots to the visor, razor-thin monomolecular blades slicing. Through armor like paper, panic set in. "Fall back," Krell roared, but his words were drowned by the rising sound of human drones, swarming, buzzing, cold and methodical. Above, high-altitude recon crafts began projecting holograms. Massive, terrifying illusions of Earth's might. False battalions marching, tanks rumbling, air support looming. It was all fake. But the Vorlaks didn't know that. Their morale, already cracked, shattered. Vel Rax stared at the live feed, his worst nightmares unfolding. "They're manipulating us," he muttered almost to himself. "They're inside. Our systems, our comms, even our minds." He whirled around. "Deploy the mind shock cannons. Flush them out. Scramble their inferior brains." But as the cannons powered up, human hackers deployed their final move. Feedback loops. The mind shock. Cannons meant to disrupt human neural pathways instead backfired directly into the Vorlak's fleet's systems. Officers screamed as their visors shorted out, earpieces erupted in static, and control panels sparked violently. It was as if humanity was everywhere, striking from within and without. Phantom Division's command center. Commander Ayla Vance stood, still watching the psychological warfare unfold like a master chess game. Her ops chief chuckled darkly. "They're breaking faster than expected." Ayla's voice was calm but sharp. "We don't just break bones, we break wills. Keep the pressure on." Her eyes flicked to a new blip on the screen. An unexpected signal. Hold on. What's this? A hidden Vorlax detachment had broken through one of Earth's outer defenses, a last-ditch effort to strike back. Ayla's jaw tightened. Looks like they're not done yet. Desperation fueled the Vorlax's final push. A stealth cruiser, slipping past Earth's defense grid, descended fast, aiming for a high-value target. Sentinel Base Alpha, Earth's central command hub. The ship's weapons powered up, locking onto its target. But as it breached the upper atmosphere, something glittered in the dark. Human stealth fighters, dozens of them, uncloaking right in its path. Leading the charge was Captain Reyes. "They really thought they could sneak up on us," she muttered, locking onto the cruiser's engines. "Let's give 'em a warm welcome." Torpedoes fired. Explosions tore through the Vorlax stealth ship before it could even react, ripping it apart mid-descent, a flaming wreck crashing harmlessly into the ocean below. Commander Ayla exhaled, her fists unclenching. That's it. The tide is ours. For the first time in the battle, a hush fell over Earth's war room, a moment of grim victory. But deep down, Ayla knew this wasn't over yet, because predators backed into a corner. Always bite hardest. Velrax was cornered, but not defeated. Bloodied, humiliated, and down to his last tactical options, he stood on the fractured bridge of his flagship, staring into the abyss of space. Behind him, the few surviving officers waited nervously for his next command. "Enough games," he growled, voice raw with rage. "Deploy the planet cleaver." Gasps echoed across the deck. But, sir," one officer stammered, eyes wide. We've never used it, not even against the Malketh uprising." Velrax turned slowly, eyes blazing with murderous intent. "We end this. I don't care what it takes." The order was given. From the Vorlax's flagship, a monstrous bay door slid open, revealing a weapon of unspeakable scale. A supermassive kinetic bombardment platform, nicknamed Planet Cleaver, designed to hurl city-sized projectiles from orbit, capable of shattering continents. The humans, they thought, had finally met their doom. In the heart of Sentinel Command, alarms blared, a deep, bone-shaking klaxon that meant only one thing: existential threat. Ops Chief Tanner's face turned pale as he read the incoming data. "Commander, it's massive. We're talking extinction-level event." Commander Ayla Vance stared at the screen, her eyes cold but her mind racing. "How long until impact?" 6 minutes. A murmur rippled through the war room. 6 minutes until Earth's fate was sealed. Ayla exhaled slowly, then turned to her team with a calm that defied the rising panic. "Bring Helios online." Tanner froze. "Commander, we've never—" Ayla's eyes snapped to his. "Now, Chief." With trembling hands, Tanner keyed in the command. Deep beneath Earth's surface, beneath miles of rock and secrecy, something awoke. Rising from a hidden silo, Helios was unlike anything humanity had ever built or shown. Shaped like a colossal spear shimmering with adaptive plating, it was part warship, part AI, part living nightmare. Its power source, a zero-point energy core, something even the Vorlax had only theorized in whispers. As Helios surged skyward, Earth's defense grid parted like curtains, letting the Titan rocket into orbit with a scream of pure power. Its surface glowed, rippling as AI systems came online, learning, adapting, calculating. The Vorlax fleet barely had time to react. Unidentified object approaching fast. A Vorlax officer yelled. Velrax spun toward the display, jaw tightening. What now? Helios streaked through space, locking on to the planet Cleaver, its targeting systems precise beyond belief. With a thundering pulse, Helios fired its main cannon, a beam of searing, focused energy that tore through the Vorlax weapon like a hot blade through ice. The planet cleaver ruptured violently, its superstructure fragmenting into 1,000 molten pieces. Gasps filled the Vorlax bridge, and before they could recover, Helios moved. Fast. Too fast. It zipped through the Vorlax fleet like a predatory shark, carving through dreadnoughts, shredding battleships, using kinetic strikes and gravity-warping tech that turned the battlefield into chaos. Velrax's voice cracked with raw terror. "What? What is that?" But no answer came. Only destruction. In Sentinel Command, the room watched in stunned silence as Helios performed surgical devastation. Ops Chief Tanner whispered, voice full of awe, "It's beautiful." Ayla Vance's lips curled into a grim smile. Helios was never just a weapon. It's our warning to the universe. And as Helios circled back, standing guard like a sentinel in the stars, the Vorlax fleet's remains drifted helplessly, broken, leaderless, defeated, bloodied, desperate. Velrax slumped against the console, his vision flickering. "This isn't over," he hissed. "We'll regroup. But his words were cut off as Helios locked onto his flagship. A final pulse of energy, a blinding flash, and the Vorlax Dominion was no more. Commander Ayla stood tall, voice steady, as she looked over her team. Humanity just rewrote the rules. But deep down, she knew. This victory, no matter how decisive, was only the beginning of something far larger. The Vorlax Dominion was finished. Their fleet, once a terror across galaxies, now floated lifeless, shattered into wreckage orbiting Earth. Humanity had done the impossible, turned invaders into ashes. But victory brought something unexpected. In the silence that followed the destruction, new signals emerged. Unknown, unfamiliar, but unmistakably intelligent. Commander Ayla. Vance leaned over the console, eyes narrowed at the incoming data stream. Ops Chief Tanner's voice broke the tension. "Ma'am, this isn't Vorlax." A deep, resonant transmission echoed through the chamber, translated instantly. "We are the Krillith, witnesses to your triumph. We propose dialogue." Ayla exchanged glances with her advisors. Another alien. Species, one that had clearly been watching. "Get me a secure channel," she ordered. "Let's hear what they want." The meeting. In orbit, a neutral meeting platform was hastily assembled. Half human engineers, half Krillith delegates. The Krillith were tall, shimmering beings, their forms shifting like liquid metal, eyes luminous with strange wisdom. Their leader, Ambassador Zell, spoke first, his tone both respectful and cautious. "Humans. Formidable. We have monitored your resilience. And now, we seek alliance." Ayla's eyes stayed hard. "Alliance? After we just repelled a full-scale invasion?" Zell nodded, the glow of his eyes dimming. "The Vorlax were pawns. There is another, greater force, one that pulls strings from the shadows." The room tensed. Ayla's jaw tightened. "We've heard that story before, but deep down, unease flickered in her gut." Weeks passed. An uneasy alliance began to take shape between humanity and the Krillith. Joint task forces were proposed, tech exchanges initiated. But trust was fragile. Captain Reyes, now leading forward operations, wasn't convinced. Over black coffee in the war room, she voiced her concerns. "They showed up after the fight was over," she muttered. "Convenient, huh? And now they want to be best friends?" Tanner, always the optimist, shrugged. "Maybe they're legit. We could use allies." Ayla stayed silent, eyes scanning surveillance reports. Hundreds of pages of Krillith movement data, none of it adding up cleanly. It happened suddenly. A routine joint mission. humans and Krillith side by side, conducting a sweep of a derelict. Vorlax Station. Signals were normal. Comm chatter casual. Until chaos. Human soldiers, caught in tight corridors, were suddenly ambushed, but not by enemies, by their own Krillith allies. Screams ripped through the comms. Gunfire echoed. Bio readings flatlined one after another. In Sentinel Command, alarms blared. Ops Chief Tanner's face drained of color. "We're being betrayed." Ayla's fists slammed the console. "Scramble all units. Bring them home, now!" But the damage was done. By the time reinforcements arrived, half the human squad was wiped out, and the Krillith were gone, vanished like ghosts. Commander Ayla stood over the silent war room, her voice shaking with quiet fury. "They played us," she said. "Just like the Vorlax." A grim hush fell over the team. Ops Chief Tanner's voice cracked. "Why? What was the point?" Reyes entered, her armor scorched, eyes dark with rage. She slammed her helmet onto the table. "They wanted something from that station, something we never saw." Ayla's eyes narrowed. "And they just declared a new war." As Ayla's team reviewed the hacked logs from the Vorlax station, a single, chilling file surfaced, a holographic recording. It showed the Krillith communicating with the Vorlax. And worse, it showed Helios, humanity's greatest weapon, on their tactical displays. "They weren't just watching us," Ayla whispered. "They've been planning this all along," her fists clenched. "Prepare everything. This isn't over." The betrayal had lit a fire under humanity, one that no alien race could extinguish. In the days following the Krillith's ambush, Earth's skies turned grim, bristling with warships. Sentinel Command was on high alert. Engineers worked around the clock, upgrading defenses. Scientists pushed Helios beyond its previous limits, integrating experimental tech that hadn't even been tested yet. Commander Ayla Vance, standing at the helm of the operation, knew this was it. "We end this. No more alliances. No more mercy." They came fast. Sleek, shimmering warships materialized out of deep space, thousands of them. Bigger than anything the Vorlax had deployed, their weapons arrays pulsed with energy that could incinerate entire cities. Ambassador Zell's voice echoed across open channels, calm and cold. "Your defiance was impressive, humans, but it ends today. Your weapon, Helios, will be ours." Commander Ayla replied without hesitation, her voice sharp as a blade. "You underestimated us, just like the last fools. Big mistake." With a single gesture, she unleashed humanity's counterstrike. The ultimate battle. Helios roared into action, launching from its silo with new upgrades, antimatter torpedoes, quantum disruptors, and enhanced AI cognition. Its armor shimmered like a living beast, adapting in real time to incoming attacks. The sky became a battlefield of epic proportions. Laser fire lancing across the void, drones swarming like hornets, and titanic ships colliding in brutal, close quarters combat. But the Krillith had an ace, a planet-killer device powered by stolen Vorlax tech aimed squarely at Earth. Ops Chief Tanner's face paled. "Commander, we won't survive a direct hit." Ayla's eyes blazed. "We won't let them fire." On the ground, Captain Reyes led an elite squad, a mix of veterans and fresh recruits, on a daring infiltration mission. Their target: the Krillith's control ship. Cloaked in adaptive armor, they cut through enemy lines with precision, navigating the alien labyrinth. Explosions rocked the corridors as Reyes barked orders. "Plant the charges. Set the timers for simultaneous detonation. We end this here and now." With seconds to spare, the team exfiltrated, the ship erupting behind them in a massive explosion that sent ripples through the Krillith fleet. Helios, taking advantage of the chaos, engaged its final protocol. The AI, now fully autonomous, locked onto the Krillith's planet killer and fired its quantum lance, a piercing beam that drilled straight through the Krillith superweapon, rupturing it from the inside out. The resulting explosion was cataclysmic, tearing through space like a miniature supernova. Krillith forces, stunned and leaderless, faltered. As the dust settled, Helios hovered silently, scanning for survivors. Commander Ayla's voice, cold and resolute, broadcasted to the fleeing Krillith. Earth is not your hunting ground. Remember that, if any of you live long enough to warn others. The remaining Krillith ships turned and fled, scattered and broken. Humanity had not just defended itself. It had sent a message to the galaxy. Aftermath. The days that followed, Earth rebuilt, stronger, wiser, and united like never before. Commander Ayla stood on the observation deck, watching Helios float serenely above the planet, its armor gleaming in the dawn light. Captain Reyes joined her, arms crossed. "Think they'll come back?" Reyes asked. Ayla's eyes narrowed, her voice steely. "If they do, we'll be ready." And somewhere, out in the vastness of space, alien civilizations whispered new legends, of a planet that turned invaders into ash, of humans who rose from prey to predators unmatched.